Welcome, welcome to the first episode of the Swampy Sooners podcast of the 2022 season. JD, college football is here.
It's here. Got a little taste of it in week 0, watching Nebraska embarrass themselves. It's always fun to watch that happen. But best time of the year, it's here.
Hey, dude, I'm right there with you. That was a huge embarrassment, right? And
Yep.
well, before we get into anything, I want to talk about that. And when I say I want to talk about it, it was 100% the reason Nebraska lost that football game. Two things. One, Fitzgerald is actually a really good football coach who
hmm
could have had a lot of those big time college football jobs last year. I think
Yeah.
he definitely could have, but he played at Northwestern, very loyal to his alma mater. But Scott Frost again messed it up, right? Let
hmm
me ask you this, because I think I know when they're going to fire him, but when do you think Nebraska lets him go?
October 16th, when his buyout drops by $7 million.
Yep, there you go. It's like getting like cut in half, something
Yep.
like that. Someone asked me that the other day, and they were like, "Oh, you talking about like after they get just absolutely, get their ass whooped by Oklahoma?" Which I think they're going to give Oklahoma their best game of the season. It always happens,
Everybody is.
right? Um,
Everybody is.
but the fact that it gets cut in half, that's when they're gonna just go ahead and call it quits. And I think
hmm
it's funny. Like I don't know if he just keeps winning. Say if he barely loses to Oklahoma, keeps winning something like that somehow, he probably lasts the season. But that was a utter embarrassment, and it's just time for them to part ways. I don't see why it's taking
hmm
this long anyway. But anyway, this is it. We are back in football season, right? We are a little bit late to the game. We've had some technical issues these past couple of days with the recording, but hey, that's not going to stop us. So let's just start with this, JD, because I know later on in the show we are going to be starting our gauntlet, our predictions,
hmm
where we keep score year round. And I'm actually going to kick your ass this year. I'm going to. I don't care what you say. It's going to happen. I now have the time to keep up with everything. All right, because I know those are an excuse the past couple of years, but now it's time to put up or shut up.
All right, whatever you say, man. I mean, I think it's been the past 3 seasons I've absolutely mopped the floor with
Yeah.
you. So,
Yep. DJ Dillon is no more. Don't have to be at weddings every weekend. I'm going to be on my couch watching football. So, all right. Well, hey, let's just jump into it, JD. Before we get into the picks, just like all the other talking heads and everything else, I think we should go through our conference champions and our college football playoff predictions real quick before we get into all the game predicting and all that for week one.
sounds good to me.
All right. So let's just start here. We're going to start with the ACC. All right. Well, I'm going to try to keep it alphabetically, alphabetical order here. All right.
All
Let's start
right.
with the ACC.
Hmm.
James Douglas, who do you have winning the ACC this year?
Uh, Give me Clemson at 11-2, beating Miami with a regular season record of 10-2.
Okay. Gotcha. So you have Miami reaching the conference championship,
Yep,
facing the Tigers.
losing to Clemson. Miami's going to be 11-2, or 10-2. Clemson will be 10-2, and Clemson wins with an 11-2 record to finish the year.
Gotcha. I see a lot of people high on Pittsburgh this year, even though they lost the greatest receiver in college football. And I don't know what Pitt has to show besides adding Slovis to their quarterback room. But I'm right there with you. I say Clemson probably going at least just one loss throughout the year, but winning the ACC. But I think the Miami pick is a great pick for them. I think they're a sneaky team to win the ACC this year. Just seeing what
Yes,
Cristobal
sir.
can do down there in Coral Gables. So
I think big
we're
things
gonna go.
are happening for them for sure.
We're going to go from ACC to the Big Ten, and this could be a interesting, I guess you can say, Big Ten championship. lineup because whoever wins the East is going to win it all for sure. But I'm going to have Ohio State going undefeated throughout the regular season and beating Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship.
All right. Well, I got Ohio State finishing the regular season at 11-1, Wisconsin finishing the regular season at 10-2, and I have Ohio State winning the Big Ten championship, finishing the year at 12-1, and with their only loss being on the road at Penn State.
All right. So that's the Big Ten there. And then
Yes,
what
sir.
is it? The Big 12 now.
Yes,
The
sir.
mighty
That
Big
will be the
12.
next one.
All right, JD, I know you're excited. I know you're
I'm really
excited to
excited,
talk to
man.
everyone who you think is going to win the Big 12. So go ahead and give it to us.
I got Oklahoma finishing the year at 11-1, the regular season at 11-1. I have Baylor finishing the regular season at 10-2, and Oklahoma's only loss being to Baylor in the regular season, but I think they avenged that loss, beating the Baylor Bears in the Big 12 championship game, finishing at 12-1.
Gotcha. Okay. I have the Baylor Bears winning the Big 12, and I have their one loss of the season being at Oklahoma. And I have them beating Oklahoma in a revenge game in the Big 12. I think OU's only loss is going to be to the Kansas State Wildcats, who I will go ahead and say is my dark horse of winning the Big 12 this year. Sneaky good team this year.
Very sneaky good.
We're going to have to see what. Really, we're going to have to see if Adrian Martinez can lead this team. See if just a change of scenery kind of changes who he is, especially with.
Ain't nothing changed on that. I can tell you that much.
Well, imagine having the security blanket of Deuce Vaughn behind you as well. That could be something. So that's one of the big reasons why I think Kansas State is a sneaky team this year. So okay, so from the Big 12,
I don't care. I don't care if the deuce is loose. Adrian Martinez is going to Adrian Martinez to me. So,
is it the Pac-12 alphabetical order?
yep.
Yeah, Pac-12. All right, so the Pac-12, I think literally everyone and their mother is going to pick the Utah Utes to win the Pac-12 this year, unless just people who watch highlights and expect Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley to go undefeated this year just because of those two people, but they don't understand a bunch of other stuff about football. But I have the Utah Utes going in and winning the Pac-12. I would say in an undefeated season in the regular season. Really, just
Undefeated, really.
Mm-hmm. I see them going undefeated. I really don't see. I think their biggest challenge, of course, there's probably going to be more throughout the season, but in the swamp this Saturday and night game, going to be a huge challenge. But I think Utah pulls it off closely.
Alrighty. Well, I have Utah finishing the regular season at 11-1, taking on the surprise team I think is going to be from the Pac-12, which is the Oregon State Beavers at 10-2, and I think the Utah Utes end up winning the Pac-12 with a record of 12-1.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, you have where it just means more, JD. We kind of have to get used to saying that because it seems like Oklahoma might be going there soon.
I've
Well,
been
yes.
used to living in Louisiana, so
And you
I mean,
always give me crap for leaving Louisiana, but for the sole fact I can get away from the SEC for a while, and now we're about to jump back into it. Hey, it was good
don't
while it
act
lasted.
like you aren't ready. You don't want to be part of the SEC. I've been wanting to be part of the SEC. How long have I been saying that?
There's a difference between thinking it's good we're being to the SEC than just straight up being sick and tired of the SEC fans. Because if you're a fan of an LSU team, you're just a fan of, or I'm sorry, of any SEC team, you're just a fan for the SEC, right? Like if your team sucks that year, doesn't make a bowl, then you're rooting for every single SEC team because it just means more, right? Even though their
See,
SEC teams don't win bowl games.
I think that's complete crap. But
Oh, I hated it. It was terrible. We heard it day and night in our own household. So, but easy pick for me. They don't even have to really reload this year pretty much it is going to be firing at all cylinders. Usually it's one of those, oh, it's a reloading season, not a rebuilding season. But Alabama has so many players back this year. I'm going to say Alabama undefeated.
Well, you can say they go undefeated. I actually think they finish finish the regular season at 11-1. Georgia finishing the regular season at 11. I have Georgia with their only loss being at South Carolina, and I have Alabama's only loss being at Ole Miss, and I have Alabama beating Georgia in the SEC championship game and finishing the season at 12-1.
Okay. All right. Well, that was quick. That's exactly how I wanted it because we do have quite a few games. So here's how it's going to work. Throughout the season, JD is in charge of picking the games that we're going to predict money lines, right? The outright
Yep,
winner.
money
All right.
line
I'm learning these
picks.
terms because soon gambling's going to be illegal in Oklahoma, and I got to learn it. But then
My,
also, JD has a slate of games for us to pick the spread on, which is JD's favorite thing in the entire world, right?
I love it.
So,
I
so,
absolutely love it.
so really, Jay, let's just go and get started on the outright picks, and we'll kind of just go straight into the spreads after that.
All right. First game we have on the slate of the money line picks is we have the West Virginia Mountaineers renewing that great backyard brawl rivalry as they head to Hinesville to take on the 17th ranked Pitt Panthers.
Okay, well, I love the name, the Backyard Brawl. Love the name, just like the high school rivalry here in Tulsa between Jinx High School and Union High School. Um, but I'm going to take the Pitt Panthers at home. Um, I'm not high on them winning the ACC, but I think they'll definitely take care of business against West Virginia. But hey, kudos to West Virginia wearing the Country Roads themed uniform this weekend. If you haven't seen that, look it up. They're actually pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, you could take Pitt. I'm actually going to take West Virginia.
Oh, they're gonna
Uh,
love this episode.
came out today that 75% of the tickets have been sold to West Virginia fans, and
Really,
it's going to sound like it's a home game for
Nick,
West Virginia.
what are you doing?
And I I think that Graham Harrell's going to make a huge difference in this game. He knows Keaton Slovis's weaknesses. I think he'll be able to help the defense out that way when it comes to preparing for him and this Pitt offense, which I
Yeah.
think them going back to more of a game controlled run the ball offense, Pitt will. I think that benefits West Virginia. So give me the Mountaineers
Okay.
to
Well,
win the game.
those are some good. You know, those are some good points, right?
Hmm.
The fact
Oh, I
that
know they are.
okay, where did you hear 75% of West Virginia fans are bought tickets? Because if that's the case, like, how did Pitt allow that to happen? And two, did West Virginia pull a Red Raiders basketball trick and just start buying all the away game tickets using fake names? Like, how did that happen?
I will not relay my source. Uh, so we're just gonna go on to the next game.
All right. So, all right, JD, who we got next?
All right, we have a very intriguing game tomorrow night. Actually, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions are traveling to West Lafayette to take on the Purdue Boilermakers.
Gotcha. So with this, I think this is going to be a good matchup. I really do. So at that point, I'm going to go with the Boilermakers on this one. Home team, Penn State. I think this is going to be the beginning of the end to James Franklin at Penn State. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, he is no longer the head coach of the Nittany Lions.
Right on. I'm actually going Purdue as well. Reason why I am going that is because Manny Diaz being the defense coordinator for Penn
Mm-hmm.
State. He's very, very aggressive. And I think having a 6-year quarterback at for Purdue and Aiden O'Connell, I
Yeah.
think they're going to find some holes in this very aggressive defense from Manny Diaz. So give me the Boilermaker. I believe I actually finishing second in the list, going 10-2. We're gonna have a great year. Give me the Boilermakers. I got them winning this game.
Okay. So you got the Boilermakers. Okay. Well, we agree on that one. Let's see here. I think. Okay. You know what? You go ahead with this one.
All right. The next game we have is the Illinois Fighting Illini are traveling over to Bloomington, Indiana to take on the Indiana Hoosiers, Dylan.
Okay. Never been a huge believer in Brett Bielema, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel like Illinois could be kind of like a Kentucky job. As long as you get to a bowl game, you're doing well. So comfort job there. But I'm taking the Hoosiers, man. Again, I think I have a theme of going home teams right now, but home field advantage. Fighting Illini suck. So I'm gonna take Indiana in this one.
You can take Indiana all you want. I mean, Tom Allen's a great coach, and everyone loves his passion and everything. But I'm going Illinois on the sole fact that I think their offensive line's better, and the fact that they've actually played a game this year. They have that in-game experience already. So give me the Nile to win this one.
Okay. All right. JD, what do we got
Next,
next?
next one we have is the Rutgers Scarlet Knight are on the road to take on the Boston College Golden Eagles.
Okay. You know what, JD? You go first on this one.
I'm going Boston College. I like Bill Jakovic. Have pretty much the whole offensive line back with Trey Flowers. And with it being at home, I think that gives them the advantage over Graciano and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Okay. Let's see. So how do I want to say this? You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Give me the Scarlet Knights, baby. I don't know why. The name Scarlet Knights, it excites me. I don't know what it is about it. The name Rutgers, it just makes me feel smart. You know, it's New
You've been
York,
watching too many
tough.
Sopranos.
You know,
Thinking
hey,
that
dude,
Rutgers.
Sopranos, easily one of the top 6 greatest television shows of all time. All
3.
right, top 6 in my
Top
eyes.
3.
Okay, JD, you've apparently never seen Hey Arnold. Okay, so,
Jesus
but
Christ.
I'm gonna take Rutgers this one. Give me the away team going in. Greg Schiano gonna sit there and just start telling his team, "Hey, let's start swinging the axe," or whatever he used to say back in 07 whenever I'll mention him. Ray Rice was there, and they were like ranked number 3 or something for a while. Greg Schiano, bring him back to glory, baby. Go Knights.
All right. The next one we have is a very interesting matchup. We have the North Carolina Tar Heels
Yep.
on the road at Appalachian State Mountaineers.
Okay, on the road at App State, that's a big deal, and I will say they probably have one of the prettiest backdrops in college football. They don't have a huge
Yes, they do.
stadium, which means you can see all the trees in the next couple of months. You're going to see the leaves changing. You got the mountains, a beautiful place, right?
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? Matt Brown doesn't give a shit about that. He's going to come in and they're going to win this ball game on the road. Give me the Tar Heels.
All right, you can take the Tar Heels. The fact that this game has been sold out since May, I'm going to take the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Yeah. The way I saw North Carolina play FAMU last week when they were down 25 scholarship players and were even debating playing this game, it made me really question what's going on in Chapel Hill. And with this being a in-state game and all the Appalachian fans are just stoked beyond belief and are ready to show the big boys of the state what's who really runs the state. Give me Appalachian. I think that they could end up becoming the best school in North Carolina because I think that Appalachian State has a very good chance of being the Group of 5 representative in the New Year's Six this year.
And I don't hate that for the next couple of years, for sure. Because how long have they been in the FBS now? Like 3 years, something like that. And they're already
6.
at this point. What?
I think they've been in at 6.
6? Really? Because
Mhm.
because
They
one
came in like 2018.
Jesus, shitty. Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
like I can still remember when I found out they're moving to SBS. I was sitting in Strawn's in Bossier City.
Mhm.
I cannot believe that's been 6 years ago. I'm sorry, that's just
I'm
in
pretty
my
sure
head.
it's
That's
been
weird.
6 years.
I believe you on those stats. You're
Mhm.
usually more accurate on those than I am. But hey, that's cool. It's been sold out since May, but what else do people in Boone, North Carolina have to look forward to besides purchasing tickets, 4 months in advance before a game? So,
Yeah.
um, all right. Well, who we got next, Jay? This next one gonna be a good one.
The 23 ranked Cincinnati Bearcats are on the road to Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the 19th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yes. And I'm excited to watch this one with you, or at least be flipping through the channels this
We're
weekend
going to have
with
to
you,
get a
dude.
second TV because this is on the same time as
How about we
OU.
just go to a sports bar? I think that might be the way to go. We'll see. We're going to figure it out.
Maybe. We'll
But
see.
um, I think this is going to be a hell of a football game. I think this is going to show if Luke Fickle can keep Cincinnati relevant without Desmond Ritter, right? Without Sauce Gardner, who's killing it in the NFL already. Um, you know, but this also has huge implications for Arkansas of Sam Pittman to show, hey, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Because I don't care, like if this is Alabama or Georgia going to get Cincinnati in week 1 and Alabama wins, it's just another win, right? But for Arkansas, this is going to solidify the hype that they had coming into the season, showing that, hey, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and we are here to stay. We just beat a top tier team, a college football playoff team last year. And for that, I believe in Arkansas's talent and Sam Pittman, who I think is probably one of the best coaches in the country. Woo pig suey, baby. Give me the Razorbacks.
I'm right there with you. The way that Alabama just ran through Cincinnati's defense last year in the college football playoff,
Mhm.
they ran the ball at will. And what was Arkansas' strength last year is they were the top rushing attack in the entire nation. I think that the ability to run the ball with KJ Jefferson, and that's going to open up play action pass. The fact that they have all their offensive line back, Kendall Browse first time he's had a returning starting quarterback. I think Arkansas ends up winning this game by double digits.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, so you don't think it's going to be a close one?
I'm calling like 31-17.
Okay, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that.
Arkansas pulls
We'll see.
away in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so it's a closer game, and the fourth quarter takes over. I
Mm-hmm.
can see that happening. Okay.
The
All right.
the pure strength and bruteness that Arkansas has, Cincinnati is going to take over in the fourth quarter.
Okay, I respect it. All right, this
The
one I've already answered, but let's go ahead and get into this one.
Well, that's not the one that we're on. So we're
Oh,
on
that's the
the
one I have on mine.
24th. The 24th ranked Houston Cougars are traveling 2 hours west to San Antonio to take on the Roadrunners of UTSA.
Give me the drunk uncle looking Dana Holgerson. He looks like the fun uncle of the family, right? He looks like the
Yeah.
one that you have a good time with. He looks like the one that
Hmm.
flirts with your 17-year-old, friend that you bring over to the crawfish boil, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think this one's easy. UTSA last year had a special season, but I think it's, I think it's definitely going to be Houston at home.
Well, if this was a spread pick, which the spread is 4.5 points, I would take UTSA on the sole fact that Jeff Traylor having that amazing season last year. And then to couple that, there's a lot of hate between these two rivals, and this crowd's going to be bumping for when Houston comes in there, because I mean it's like San Antonio versus Houston, cities going back and forth with it. But I do think that the talent will prevail, and I got Houston winning by a field goal.
Wow. Okay, so you have it close, and
Yeah.
I'm going to admit I had no idea UTSA and the Houston Cougars. The Roadrunners and the Wildcats are, I'm sorry, and the Cougars and the Roadrunners are rivals, bitter rivals.
Yeah, there's no love in these two.
Who would have thought San Antonio and Houston would have a rivalry? Huh.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Love it. All right.
All right, next game we have is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most out of the nightcap is the 7th-ranked Utah Utes are on the road in Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators in the Swamp.
Okay. I know we talked about this one the other day, Jay, and I told you I was going to pick Florida based
Yeah,
off of their athleticism, right?
just go ahead and mark
But
that in.
I did have my mind changed today, actually, this afternoon, by the one and only Teddy Lehman.
Really?
Changed my mind today on Sports Talk Radio.
What do you say that
Um,
changed your mind?
what really so for people who don't know who Teddy Lehman is, he is a former All-American, linebacker, Buckus Award winner for the University of Oklahoma. Now he's a bunch of things here in Oklahoma for sports. But he is probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know about defense, but then also the linebacker position. He
Hmm.
went on a 15-minute rant about how good Utah's linebackers actually are this year and how they complement the defensive line so well. I'm
Yep.
not going to act like I knew anything about the Utes, but apparently Lehman did his freaking homework and made me flip my he made me flip my pick to the Utes in a close one over Florida because Florida's still going to have the athleticism advantage. They're going to have the swamp at night, but Utah, with all this hype and all this experience coming in, I think Utah is going to pull it off in a close one.
I got Utah winning on the sole fact that I just don't believe that there's a lot of chemistry there in Gainesville with this new coaching staff and all this new coming together, and then in comes
Mm-hmm.
a experience culture that Kyle Whittingham has established with a returning quarterback. Give me the Utes by a field goal last second. I'm
Okay.
giving the Swamp its
Wow.
respect it deserves, but my God, this experience this Utah team has, I just believe that they're going to end up getting it done by 34,
Okay.
31,
I hope it's a
37,
close one.
34, somewhere around there.
I hope it's a close one for
Yep.
sure. I'd love for that to be a really good game this year.
Hmm. The next game we have are the Louisville Cardinal are traveling to the Carrier Dome to take on the Syracuse Orange.
You know, Cunningham is a really good quarterback. I think he would be a lot more recognized if he wasn't in the footsteps of Lamar Jackson, I think,
Yep.
in that shadow there, because he's a very good quarterback. He's just not doing what people saw Lamar Jackson do at Louisville. So he's definitely not as big of a name. And for the sole fact of like his athleticism, but he's got amazing arm talent. I'm going to take Louisville, especially because Syracuse is just trash. But hey, I do love they play in a dome though.
Yeah.
So hey,
Well, I think that honestly, if I was Syracuse, I'd get rid of the dome. The sheer home field
yeah,
advantage you would have playing in upstate New York outside with, say, Miami coming up there in November. I don't understand. Get rid of the care or build a stadium outside, make it 12,000 people. I don't care. That home field, that weather condition you would have be unbelievable. But because it's inside a dome and they do have Cunningham at quarterback for Louisville, I think that Louisville ends up winning this.
okay. Let me ask you this on that point. Would you even be able to get recruits to come play there if you did play outside?
Well, think about all the kids that play up in the Northeast already.
Yeah, but most people try to target the Southwest to get their recruits, and they're not going to go play,
Well, I
somewhere like
mean, you're
they're only
Syracuse.
forced
You're
to
a
play in that
basketball.
if they get drafted by the Packers. It's the only time they're going to play in that.
Well, I mean, they're Syracuse. They're a basketball school anyway. Take what you can get, like you do already. But I think you would get a lot more better recruits if you show that you can win. And I believe having an outdoor stadium in upper state New York would seriously help them with that.
Okay.
Just thought.
Hey, Rutgers plays outside.
Yeah. All right. The next one we have is the Boise State Broncos are traveling to Corvallis, Oregon to take on the Oregon State Beavers.
JD, tell the people who your surprise team of the year is. Let's just
Already
go ahead and
did.
talk about it.
Already did.
You've already done
Go
it
ahead.
on this episode.
Yeah, we talked about it when I said that Utah's going to take on Oregon State, who I have finished in 10-2 in the Pac-12 championship game.
Oh well, we freaking blew past those the conference champions, but you convinced me to take the Beavers in this one. Right?
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with their uniforms, and it has nothing to do with anything besides the fact that I'm going off what you told me, JD. If you screw me on this, I'm gonna be pissed. But hey, Boise State's not what they were. Even Chris Peterson left, right? But then also Brian Harston now at Auburn. I don't know if I hate. I've always liked Boise State, succeeding on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and stuff. But I'm gonna take Oregon State in this one.
I'm taking Oregon State as well. Have the whole offensive line back, Chance Nolan at quarterback. They returned 9 starters on
Yep.
defense. And the fact that Jonathan Smith has created a culture there where they are an SEC style team where they play hit you in the mouth defense and they run the ball very, very well. They were a top 5 rushing attack in the nation last year. So like I said, I think Oregon State has big things on the schedule this year. I got them going 10-2 in the regular season with the Pac-12 championship appearance. And I think they end up winning this game easily.
Hugh, I'm a believer by the monkeys for JD and the Beavers for this year. That's a bold take, dude. But hey, if Oregon State can do that, then that would be fun to watch. It really would.
It would be.
Imagine if they beat the hell out of USC. How amazing would that be?
Oh, I have them beating USC.
Oh, I love it. Where's it at?
At Oregon State.
It's at Oregon State.
Yep.
I
And
really hope
the
the nickname is Bucky the Beaver, but
I think it's the same weekend Nebraska and Oklahoma play.
oh, okay. So coming up in the next 3 weeks. Perfect. Okay, love it. All right, JD. Well, our last game on the slate
is Sunday night. The Florida State Seminoles travel to a neutral site game in New Orleans to take on the LSU Tigers.
It's never neutral site game in New Orleans, right?
Nope.
Granted, it's an easy drive from Florida to New Orleans, hopping on I-10 and just flying down the interstate.
Yep.
But fun fact for everybody, all the championships that LSU has won have all been in New Orleans, right? So this is their second home. This really is the Superdome. So I say LSU wins outright, and I say by at least 10 to 14 points. I think this is Mike Norvell's last year in Florida State. If he can't turn it around this year, he's done. Then they're going to go after Dion like they should have, a couple years ago for sure. But I'm going to take LSU in this one.
I think Florida State's going to surprise a lot of people this year. I love the quarterback they have in Hunter. He's proven they have improved their offensive line, but LSU having in my opinion, the second best defensive line in all of America behind Clemson. I think even though Florida State has improved that offensive line, I still think that defensive front is going to wreak havoc. But I will say that Florida State does have a slight advantage on the fact that they've already played a game. And I traveled all the way over to Los Angeles and saw LSU get their ass kicked last year by a team that played a game in week 0.
Was that on a Sunday too?
No, it was on Saturday. But
no, was it?
Anyway, I got LSU winning this game by 7.
Okay. All right. That's our outright picks. That's our slate there. So now we're going to be going into the money line. All right.
Yep.
So getting used to this whole gambling terms here. But now we're going to be going into the spread picks. All right. Yep. JD, take it away.
All right. The first one we have on the agenda is tomorrow night. We have the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs are on the road at Missouri, and Missouri is a 20.5 point favorite. Dylan, who do you have?
Heck yeah, tech yeah. Give me the Bulldogs to lose, but within 20 points there.
All right, that sounds good because
If
I
no
am
one
taking.
knows, that's JD's alma mater. All right, he's not
Yep.
going to say that, but I'm going to throw it out there because he doesn't want
Yes,
to. He
I
doesn't
did
want to
go to
associate
school.
himself with anyone other than OU. But he did not go to OU. He went to Louisiana Tech because it's 30 minutes away from home. Loved it.
Yes,
I loved it.
I
I liked
did.
it.
I did attend classes at Louisiana Tech, but I'm right there with you, Dylan. I think Tech does keep this within 20.5. I'm seeing a 14 to 17 point victory for Missouri. Missouri's honestly 13th best team in the SEC this year, so I don't see a lot of things coming from them. So give me the Bulldogs.
And I will say this: I don't remember his name because I he doesn't deserve to hold any capacity of memory space in my brain. But that coach of theirs is an asshole.
You talking about Drink?
Is that what it is? Drink? Yeah.
Eli Drinkowitz?
Yeah. The dude that sits there and laughs at Oklahoma coming into the SEC and says,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's a different ball game." I'm like, dude, you're with Missouri. What have you shown to show that you deserve to be in this different ball game?
you're right. You are right. Let's go to the next game, Dylan.
Okay.
Next one is we have the TCU fight. Horned Frogs are a 14-point favorite on the road at Colorado.
I'm gonna take Colorado.
You're going to take Colorado,
I'm
huh?
gonna take Colorado. I think TCU wins, but I don't see it being 10.5 points differential there.
It's 14.
14. Sorry, I had 10.5 on my thing here. 14
Yeah.
points. I'll still take Colorado. Just keep it within 14.
I think this game's going to be close because I look at the sole fact that A&M went up there last year
Yep.
and played in Denver and was well under what they were projected to win by. So I think the altitude is going to be a huge difference. Plus, this is a brand new coach for TCU and Sonny Dykes. He
Yep.
can actually go jump off a bridge somewhere for the way he left Tech the way he did. So yeah, give me the Buffalo to make this a very close game, in my opinion.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel, Judy?
Yeah,
Don't hold anything back.
I did go to Tech, y'all. So Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I didn't even believe in Sonny Dykes when I lived in Louisiana and was around that Tech team. And that's another reason why, I don't expect TCU to do hardly anything.
Yeah,
And screw TCU for the way they sat there and treated Gary Patterson, the one who got them
exactly.
there. That dude built that program from the ground up, and they just straight up fire him in the middle of the season. Dude, come on, no.
Mm-hmm.
Now the fact
Yeah,
that he's at Texas pisses me off more.
yeah. All right. The next game we have is the UTEP fight, or UTEP Miners are on the road
He's
in
saying fighting
Norman.
everything, dude.
It's been a long
Hey,
day. Worked
use it, dude.
12 hours
Fighting,
today.
fighting four horned
Hey,
frogs, fighting miners.
I had 12 hours of work today. Give me a break. All right. But they are a 31-point underdog in Norman to take on the ninth ranked Oklahoma Sooners.
I think 31 points. It's big. It's a huge spread.
Yep.
And this is just me coming from being an OU fan, right? So, one thing I'm not used to are 30-point victories unless we're playing Texas Tech. That's it. No one else. Not even Army, right? Is it going to be different with Brent Venables? I don't know. We'll see. Are we going to let our foot off the gas? Is Oklahoma going to sit there and just coast in the second half? I don't know. So I'm going with what I feel comfortable with, what I know, and I'm going to say UTEP covers, but Oklahoma is going to beat the living dog crap out of them still.
You
But I'm
hear
not
that,
sure if
Sooner
it'll be
Nation? He
over
doesn't think
31
that
and
the
32
defense has
points.
turned around yet. I'm kidding.
We'll see,
But
man. I don't know. I'm just going with what I feel comfortable with.
from everything I've been reading and hearing, it sounds like they're not going to let up off the gas at all. And Brent Venables will be just absolutely livid if they give up more than 10 points. I see this being a 55-10 victory for OU. So I got OU covering the spread easily.
Okay. Man,
Sorry.
wish I had your optimism, baby. I honestly wish I did. All right.
The next one we have is the Colorado State Rams are on the road to take on the 8th-ranked Michigan Wolverines, who are a 30-point favorite, Dylan.
Gotcha. So it's gone up 3 points.
Yes, it has.
Okay. I'm going first off, you know me. I always say this stuff. When I'm about to say something bad about a team, I compliment them, right? And you know me, I love uniforms. I love color schemes. I love the green, gold, and white of Colorado State. Love the horns on the helmet. They look great. But they're going to look great while getting their ass handed to them. Give me Michigan. Michigan by more than 30.
Same here. Give me Michigan and the overrated helmet that they have that everybody thinks is so badass. I think it's overrated.
Dude, I'm with you, dude. Dude, that's classic, dude. What are you talking about? It's a classic look. That's Michigan.
No, I'm saying, yeah, it's them, but everybody thinks some people think it's the best helmet in all of college football. And I'm like, no, I don't think it is.
What would be the greatest helmet in college football? If not that.
I'm not going to lie.
Don't you say it.
Not going to lie. I really like Florida's helmet.
Oh God, I thought you were going to go OU with the biggest homer comment
No,
ever.
I like Florida's helmet because
you like the script.
I like Gators. Like, I think it's really cool. I love the color design. I also like LSU's helmet a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, Michigan, yeah, the colors go together. The helmet's iconic. It is, and they should never change it, but I just don't think it's as good as everybody thinks it is.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, real quick. If you like scripts, did you like OSU's helmet with the Cowboys written in cursive on the side?
No,
I thought those were some baller ass uniforms.
Nah, anything Oklahoma State and Texas, anything orange, just get it out of here.
I understand the Texans. I think their uniforms suck. I do. Just because it honestly looks like the color of my dog's diarrhea with a little blood mixed in. That's what Texas colors look like. But I love Oklahoma State's uniforms. I really do. So,
all right.
We got off on a tangent. Let's go.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. The next game we have is the 13th ranked NC State Wolfpack are an 11.5-point favorite on the road versus an in-state, I would say, rival, because these teams do not like each other, the East Carolina Pirates. And like the Appalachian State North Carolina game, this game has been sold out since May.
Okay.
North Carolina be popping with the ticket sales in May.
Hey, man. This is what they do in North Carolina. Football season ends, right? Basketball season starts. JD, what else do they have to look forward to after North Carolina lost the national championship in basketball? They had to do something to make themselves feel good. Like, oh my God, football's so close. Let's buy these tickets. That's what had to happen. And so they just watched nothing but the Andy Griffith show all the way until tomorrow night. That's when they're going to stop and they're going to start getting ready for the games. So NC State's coming in with all this hype, right? And I think NC State's going to be a good team this year. I do. I'm not sure if they'll be able to win the ACC, but I think they're going to set the tone, and I think they're going to cover the spread over East Carolina. I think they win by at least 14 points.
Alrighty. I'm actually going to take East Carolina to cover the spread. The last 2 times, I believe, that NC State has traveled to East Carolina, they have came out there with a big fat L. And every time NC State comes in with high expectations, they seem to just fall flat on their face. So give me the Pirates to cover the spread.
Okay. Let me say something that might change your mind. Where did we hire Lincoln Riley from?
East Carolina.
Okay, I just didn't know if it'd change your mind.
No, because
I didn't know.
He didn't put any culture in there, nothing. He was just
I didn't know.
plays.
Hey, I'm just stating the facts and letting you do with that what you will.
Why are we even talking about that dry brisket making mother?
Tell us how you really feel.
Anyway,
Go
let's
on the
pull.
game back.
The next game we have is another great neutral site game, Dylan, as the 11th ranked Oregon Ducks are traveling all the way to Atlanta for a neutral site game against the 3rd ranked Georgia Bulldogs, which they are a 17-point favorite.
You forgot to mention the defending national champions, Georgia Bulldogs.
Defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs.
Sorry, you got to put the respect on the name, and you have to say that the rest of the season. Yeah, no. Oregon is flying all the way across the country to land in Atlanta, and Georgia's just going to wake up Saturday morning and drive like not even an hour on a charter bus to the stadium. But it's a neutral site game. You're right. But I will say, I think Oregon's going to bring the fans. Oregon, I think, is a national brand, especially with the younger generation, the uniforms, stuff like that, Nike. I do think they're going to have a lot of fans there, but I'm not saying it's going to be anything close. But I'm saying they will travel. But I'm going to say Oregon loses this game, but by 14 points or less. So Oregon covers.
Okay.
Pure athleticism,
Changing it
baby.
up, huh? Changing it up. Let's see. Yeah. Well,
Wait, I am changing it up. I've had it. This is what I've had.
Okay.
That's what I have here on my stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm actually going Oregon as well.
Right. Don't I? Yeah, that's what I have.
The reason why I am going Oregon is the fact that they have majority of that offensive line back, and the way they were able to just push Ohio State around. I think the loss of draft picks Georgia had off that offensive line or that defense will be real problematic for when Oregon tries to control the game through running the ball. And plus, I think Dan Lanning, knowing that team, will have a lot to do with it. But I'm seeing like a 14-point victory for Georgia. So give me Oregon covering the spread.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Couple more.
All right. The next one we have are the Troy Trojans are a 21.5-point underdog as they travel to the 21st ranked Ole Miss Rebels.
You know what? You go first on this one, buddy.
Give me Ole Miss. I think they won. They were one of the top 5 teams ranked in the transfer portal this year. And I think that they'll cover the spread. I think they'll win by 24.
Were they not number 1 in the transfer portal?
USC was.
Oh, well, makes sense. But, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Ole Miss has a chance to make some noise. I know we talked about it before, but I think this duo of Jackson Dart and Zach Evans, like the number 1, I think he was the number 1 5-star running back out of his class, somehow decided he picked TCU to start his college career off with, and just did not develop, right? But now
I could go into that story, but we don't have enough time for that. So
No, we don't. But I think this duo of Zach Evans at running back and Jackson Dart, but then also the tight end that transferred with Jackson Dart from USC to Ole Miss too. I think they have the ability to be a very explosive and dangerous offense in the SEC this year. So I am going to take Ole Miss as well because Lane Kiffin, he takes no prisoners. He's not going to sit there and take it lightly on anybody. He doesn't care if you're from Troy, Alabama, or Grambling, Louisiana. He's going just like Dan Campbell says. You can have one ass cheek and 8 toes, and he's still going to kick your ass. I think that's what
one
Lane
ass
Kiffin,
cheek, 3 toes.
Yeah, right. One ass cheek and 3 toes. That's Lane Kiffin's mindset.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next one. All right. The 25 ranked BYU Cougars are a 12-point favorite as they go to Tampa, Florida to take on the South Florida Bulls, who have Jerry Bohannon at quarterback, coached by Willie Taggart, Dylan.
Okay. Coached by Willie Taggart, the biggest disappointment in Florida State history. I remember seeing Willie Taggart on the sidelines the winter he got hired when Florida State was at the Independence Bowl. Full of promise, full of hope, right?
Mhm.
But I think the biggest thing you might want to mention for South Florida is Baylor transfer Gary Bohannon. I'm sorry, Jerry
Uh,
Bohannon.
that's what I said that.
You said Willie Taggart.
No, I said quarterback Jerry Bohannon, coached by Willie Taggart.
Oh, all I heard was Willie Taggart.
Well,
But
you just
I
weren't listening
think
to me at
that
all.
Jerry Bohannon. No, I usually don't. Jerry Bohannon. I'm kidding, Jay. This dude is a great quarterback. He just got beat out by an even better quarterback in the spring and in Blake Shapen.
318.
Yep, Shreveport guy. Yep, Evangel Christian Academy out of Shreveport. We're very familiar with. Um, I think I'm sorry to all my BYU friends. I got a few of them here. I'm sorry, but I think USF wins outright.
Wow.
I'm taking the Bulls, baby.
I got BYU winning this game by 14. They return, I think it is 19 of 22 starters from a year
Okay.
ago.
Yeah.
So give me the Cougars to win by 14.
Okay.
The next game we have is top 5 matchup as a spread pick. The Notre Dame, 5th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish are on the road in Columbus, Ohio to take on the 2nd ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And Ohio State is a 17-point favorite, Dylan.
Ohio State, I think, is going to have the most explosive offense this year. I think they have the best receiving core in the country. I think they have the best quarterback in the country. I think Bryce Young has a little bit better of an offensive line, but then I think they might have one of the best running back cores in the country as well. So they're going to be explosive. So Ohio State is my national champion, undefeated. So of course I'm having them. Uh, I think they're going to beat the brakes off of Notre Dame, but we'll see. I've heard a lot of good things about Notre Dame, but new coach, I don't know. We'll see, but I think they beat the brakes out of them.
All right. Well, this is where I am going out on a limb here. I think Notre Dame does keep it within the 17 on the sole fact that
Okay.
what I believe Notre Dame is going to do is they are going to do everything they can to keep that high power offense of Ohio State off the field. That means they are going to be ground pounding this thing into oblivion. They'll be using Michael Mayer through the passing game with Tyler Buckner. And Tyler Buckner can scramble, so I think his legs will be a huge factor in this game. Plus, Notre Dame is, I'll go out and say it, the line use, so they're going to have a great offensive line to pretty much, in my opinion, neutralize that Ohio State front seven, which is coached by Jim Knowles, great defense coordinator. But guess what? The reason why he had such a good defense these past years at Oklahoma State is because he had recruited all those players and they all knew his system, all the chemistry they had. I think we are going to see some flaws in the beginning of the Jim Knowles era at Ohio State just because there isn't all that chemistry there. Malcolm Rodriguez, you can see, is now going to start for the damn Lions. He was the heart and soul of that defense. I don't know if Ohio State has that at linebacker. So I think Notre Dame comes in, controls the time of possession, and ends up, I think they lose by 10 to 14.
Okay. Keeping it within Notre Dame covers. Okay.
Yep. The next game we have is Monday night, the Georgia Tech Wild, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, which the game is in Atlanta, but they are the road team in a neutral site in Mercedes-Benz. They're a 21.5-point underdog to the 4th-ranked Clemson Tigers.
Is this another Chick-fil-A kickoff game?
Yes.
Clemson covers. Clemson wins by at least 22, I think.
Same here. I got a prediction kind of. DJU struggles in the first half. K Klubnik comes in and they end up covering the spread.
You think he's going to take him out that early?
Possibly.
Okay.
Very possible.
I could definitely see it happening throughout the season. I don't know about the first game. Definitely
all
soon
right,
after the guy.
folks, this is the last pick There is not a spread on this pick, but off the record from this podcast, me and Dylan have set a line for us as a personal bet. Loser buys the whiskey for Saturday night. We have the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, a FCS powerhouse, is on the road at Iowa at Kinnick Stadium to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. I said that they're going to get it within 7. They'll lose by 7. Dylan thinks they're going to lose by more. So I put the line at 7.5. The reason why I'm going with South Dakota State is the sole fact that when one of these powerhouse FCS teams do play Iowa, for instance, last time North Dakota State went there in 2015, they beat Iowa straight up 17-16. So I got South Dakota State getting within 7.5 on the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, no, I completely hear what you're saying. Right? The South Dakota State Jackrabbits are getting up there with the North Dakota State Bison when it comes to the FCS. They really are, and they are killing it. Right? And Iowa is not getting a lot of love this year, and I understand why. You know, it's not a typical Iowa team, right? But the reason I'm picking the Hawkeyes is this shitty. The kids. The kids. JD, do you think if they somehow lost to South Dakota State, that those kids in the children's hospital, do you think they're going to be holding signs saying, go Hawkeyes? No, they're going to be saying, hey, you suck. You lost to an FCS team. That ain't going to happen.
Well, I'm pretty sure they were saying go Hawkeyes when North Dakota State went up there and beat them.
Yeah, that's North Dakota State. We respect that. The Bison. We're scared of Bison. There's Bison in Oklahoma, JD. They're ruthless. Jackrabbits? You can't lose to the Jackrabbits. Great uniforms, though. Great uniforms. Love the color scheme of blue, yellow, and white.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's going to happen. I think South Dakota State might end up pulling off the upset, but I think
we'll see. Bottle whiskey on the line, baby. So,
yeah.
Cool. 11 a.m. kickoff.
Oh, just so everyone does know what the records were from last year.
Oh, God. No one cares.
Just so everyone knows.
In the past.
Dylan went 62-66 against the spread and 132 and 116 on money line. I went 143 and 105 money line and 64 and 64 against the spread.
I don't care. I'm going to say it. I'm saying it. These past 3 years, JD, I've worked every single weekend DJing weddings. If that's not the case this year, I get to watch football. I'm going to understand what's happening.
Guess what? Excuses are like buttholes. Everyone has one and they stink.
Except Kim Jong-un. He doesn't need one.
All right.
Ask him.
All right, my man. Well, it's been fun, y'all. I can't wait to come back, recap from last week, and make our picks for every week to come. Let's have a great season.
All right, guys. That's it. This is the Swampy Sooners podcast. We will see you next week.
Peace.